Welcome back, everybody. Turning Point USA is continuing their epic college campus speaking tour because free speech is always important, but it's much more important to keep speaking to college students now and continuing Charlie's work after he was assassinated. And one of the men helping Turning Point do just that is Arizona Congressman and candidate for governor, Congressman Andy Biggs. Sir, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, John. Good to be with you.
Sir, Arizona lost a good one. I know that this was deeply felt by you because you not only had a professional relationship with Charlie, but a friendship as well. You're going to be speaking in Utah next week. Tell us about what's on your heart that you're going to be telling to those people.
Well, I'm looking forward to it because Charlie was such a great communicator. He was inviting. He invited people who didn't agree with him to come forward, and it's kind of weird because that's why he was killed, is because he was so doggone persuasive as he invited people to come up. And so this is going to be an interesting event as we go back. This will be the first one we do in Utah since the assassination, and I'm honored to be there with some really good friends of mine, Mike Lee Jason Chaffetz. We're going to have an interesting time. Our hearts will be heavy, but we'll remember that we're carrying on the work of Charlie to bring people not just to political awareness, but also to Christian awareness too. So it's going to be really interesting and really fun.
Yeah, and I think back of all the contributions that Charlie made, he was one of the first, much like you, to see the censorship machinery coming into action. He saw it on the college campuses. You saw it and exposed it on big tech. Today, with the great work you've done with the House Judiciary Committee and Chairman Jim Jordan, some new revelations about YouTube, and in a major concession, Google's YouTube will let us, all those he kicked off, including myself, come back on. Tell us a little bit about what you learned in this latest revelation from Google and YouTube.
Well, you learned how much, let's just face it, you learned how much that the weaponization of government was, and how YouTube responded to that. Now, John and Amanda, you guys did great work bringing that to light as well, and we all knew this took place, but this confirms much of what we understood. So I am grateful that YouTube, but they're really kind of late, are they not? I'm grateful for them bringing people back online, and I think that's reflective of the work that we did. But it may be the entire mood of the country right now is, hey, you have to have open dialogue, and this gets us to the dialogue.
Absolutely. Sir, President Trump spoke at the United Nations General Assembly and had a lot of criticism for not only the UN, but other countries on issues like immigration and free speech. This is something that ties in with Charlie Kirk and his mission across this country. At a time when it seems like other areas of the world are contracting free speech, like Europe, particularly the UK, and here we've got a president in office who is trying to expand free speech. Do you see it going in the direction of the good guys here?
Well, certainly the message of the United States is going in that way. I mean, we had a hearing in Judiciary about the UK, and so President Trump carrying that to the UN. By the way, I used to represent NGOs at the UN. I can tell you, it is a closed society. They don't like to hear criticism at all. So I was really pleased with the message President Trump brought out. And he did it in his inimitable style. And I'm hoping that you're going to see the groundswell like we saw about after Charlie's assassination, but not just that groundswell, but you're seeing center-right movements in virtually every nation in Western Europe now. And those are coming up, and they are demanding freer speech. And for that, some people are going to jail, believe it or not. Yeah. So much for the free speech over there. But I think it's growing. I think the movement is growing here in the U.S., but also certainly in Western Europe.
My last time on stage with Charlie was about 2 weeks before. I was his keynote, or one of the keynotes at the Colorado event he threw. Scott Jennings was there as well, and the conversation drifted towards that this isn't just a fight for preserving American ideals and American freedom. It really is a fight over preserving the ideals of Western civilization. Charlie really saw it in that historic, epic viewpoint. Do you think more and more Americans are realizing that the Western world is in danger of losing what made it so unique in history?
I hope they are. the whole movement, you look back, and I view Charlie as kind of like a modern, more modern and hipper and younger William F. Buckley, who talked about that as well. And even Rush Limbaugh talked about that. And we've been, some of us, I mean, you got to get the classic orientation. You have to know where we came from. The Greeks, the Romans, the scholastics, and you move on into finally getting to the great idealists and the Enlightenment that came forward with John Locke and Montesquieu. And those things are being lost. I remember when I was doing international work, talking to delegates from Western European nations, and they all told me that they viewed themselves as a post-religious society. And John and Amanda, if you view yourself as a post-religious society, then you also effectively say, we are unmoored from our foundations, which was religious belief, which actually gave birth to the liberal institutions of the West: speech, due process, right to bear arms, the fact that you had these rights given to you from God. So I hope it does go forward and bigger and stronger than ever.
So important.
Sarah, got to ask you about budget negotiations. This could end up being a Schumer shutdown, which is interesting because historically Democrats have really come close to finding a way every time to blame it on Republicans. But you guys already tried to get something. You had it out of the House. It obviously stopped in the Senate. And now you've got Democrats like House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saying that if they win back control of the House, that they're going to do everything they can in their power to go after anyone who does anything for the Trump administration. How is that a winning issue, especially when things like economy, immigration, and crime are polling terribly for Democrats?
Well, it shows that the Democrats, particularly in Congress, and you guys know this because you cover Congress, the Democrats in Congress are really out of touch with the American people. The American people are actually moving to a more centrist and maybe even to the right of center for many people. But this wild, crazy leftist notions that they have that leads Hakeem to take that position, or it leads Chuck Schumer to say, you know what, spending levels at the level of where we were in COVID, which were outrageous, that no Republican voted for, are just not enough now. And I'm just telling you, they're so out of touch with the American people, and that's why you're seeing Americans come to the right. And I think you're going to keep seeing that. And by the way, I'm really pleased that President Trump basically told Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, no, you guys need to go work this out in the legislature if you're going to work it out. In other words, don't come to me. I think President Trump saw that bad movie before when Pelosi and Schumer came in before.
Yeah. One of the things that Chuck Schumer tipped his hand on was the notion that he wants to give amnesty to the 11 to 15 million illegal immigrants who've come across the border during the Biden years. Your thoughts on how that may be turned around on the Democrats as this becomes a education war with the American public right now?
Well, I think it's going to cause further erosion in the Democrat Party, because many Americans understand pretty clearly that all the people who came in under Joe Biden, and it isn't 10 to 15 million. It's a number we don't even know, because that's not even counting the gotaways. It is so big and so vast, and it has infected our country, everything from economy to schools to spending by government and programs and crime, et cetera. That has affected everything. And I think people are going to say, look, you know what? We're not going to give amnesty to these people. They're going to have to get in line. There are literally millions trying to do it the right way, and we're not going to give primacy to those who came over wrongfully.
Yeah. Sir, just to play off of that and very quickly, that $1 trillion comeback that Democrats had, it was not only for healthcare for illegal aliens, it was for trans surgeries for minors. These issues consistently don't poll well for Democrats. Why are they doubling down on dumb?
Well, that's what dumb does. Dumb has to double down on dumb because that's why they're dumb. So I just view them as being so out of touch, again, with the American people. These are bad issues for them. Men are men, women are women. Illegal's illegal. We shouldn't be giving free health care to illegal aliens when many Americans' health care costs are going through the roof. Our energy costs are still very high. We're trying to make ends meet, and you're going to give primacy and add debt for our children and grandchildren for those who bothered to enter this country illegally. That's irresponsible.
Yeah, I mean, it seems so black and white. Males, females, legal, illegal. It used to be common sense, but sir, thank you so much for your grasp on common sense and always bringing it here to our show, Congressman Andy Biggs. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you both.
Absolutely, yes, sir. All right, everybody, a nationwide scam exposed. Staged crashes tied to illegal immigrants could be costing Americans, you people, millions. We're going to get to that story after this break.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rev has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rev. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in, be counted, be heard. Together, we are Rev.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.